Hello, thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguela. President Bola Tinubu has administered oath of office of Kudirat Kekere-Ekun as Chief Justice of Nigeria. The inauguration follows the confirmation of her nomination by the Senate. We'll bring you full details in subsequent bulletin. The House of Representatives is pledging to amend the laws that set up the National Sugar Council, strengthening the Nigerian sugar sector as a viable tool for investment, income earning and wealth creation. Chairman House of Representatives Committee on Industry, Dolapo Badru, revealed this at a workshop organized for members of the committee in Calabar. Justina Etim reports.
Nigerian sugar sector is no doubt a viable contributor to economic growth, attracting investments, securing steady supply of refined sugar for local consumption, while providing job opportunities for thousands of Nigerians following implementation of the Nigerian Sugar Master Plan. However, the sugar industry is still grappling with constraints that limit its target of attaining self-sufficiency and exportation, as consumption ratio of 1.8 million metric tons surpasses recent production level pegged at 48,000 metric tons per annum. This interface is to strengthen synergy between lawmakers and the National Sugar Development Council towards accelerating growth of the nation's sugar industry.
Before we leave here, we are going to itemize all the lacunas in the law that sets up the Sugar Council. When we are making those laws, even those things you don't need, let us put them there.
Executive Secretary, National Sugar Development Council, highlights poor sugarcane yields, cost competitiveness, among others, as part of challenges negating full implementation of the Sugar Master Plan.
The BRP projects under the NSFP have also attracted $1 billion worth of investments from its major promoters. These investors have created over 15,000 permanent and seasonal jobs, acquired over 180,000 hectares, put about 13,000 hectares of these under sugarcane cultivation, and established sugarcane processing factories with a total capacity of 18,000 ton cane per day, TCD.
As stipulated by the regulatory body, the target of the second phase of the Nigerian Sugar Master Plan is to facilitate investment to the tune of $5 billion, as well as strengthen capacity of the council to accelerate sustainability. And this is achievable through amendments of the NSDC Act to address loopholes created by conflicting policies stifling the sugar sector. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
The World Bank has approved 3 operations worth $1.5 billion to support Nigeria's human capital development and climate change resilience. The new financing includes $500 million for addressing governance issues that constrain the delivery of education and health, that is HopeGov, $570 million for primary health care provision strengthening program, that is Hope PHC, and $500 million for the Sustainable Power and Irrigation for Nigerian project. The HopeGov and Hope PHC programs combined will support the government in improving service delivery in the basic education and primary healthcare sectors, which are critical towards improving Nigeria's human capital outcomes, while the SPIN project will support improvement of dams, safety and management of water resources for hydropower and irrigation in selected areas of Nigeria. We look at other issues. The presidential initiative on CNG is receiving commendation, we hear, in Abuja, Ogun State, just a few weeks after the federal government rolled out compressed natural gas conversion kits to commercial vehicles operators at no cost. Hakim Jamal has a situation report for us.
The removal of fuel subsidy, commercial and private vehicle operators have been lamenting the negative effect on their income. However, with the federal government's free distribution of compressed natural gas conversion kits and cylinders in Ogun State, there seems to be some relief.
The initiative is bound to reduce cost of our transportation, thereby bringing a better standard of living to Nigerians.
The cylinder are engineering products also. They have been tested to withstand certain level of heat. To a great extent, I'm very sure it is very, very safe.
Less of CO2 is emitted into the atmosphere, so it saves the atmosphere, it makes the environment green, and also because of the increase in price of PMS, CNG also comes to the rescue.
Some commercial and private car owners and drivers, as well as the leadership of the various transport unions in Ogun State, commended the federal government for the bold step.
The price is very low, while the petrol price is very high.
It's a good start to a better economy, to a more prosperous nation as we have now. So it's highly commendable.
The cylinder is as thick as 60 millimeters. It is bulletproof, accident-proof.
The initiative is not without some bottlenecks.
As a private owner, people may not be able to afford that cost of conversion. It is expensive to train manpower.
For now, commercial vehicles are the target of the nationwide free CNG conversion by the federal government. In Abuja, Hakim Jimo, NTA News.
And still staying there at Abuja, let's join Yemi Dalamo for more insight into the federal government's CNG project. Yemi, please tell us. I'm sure from that report we already heard that transport workers are excited over the initiative. But what more can you tell us?
Well, thank you, Ruth, for joining us in Abuja, the Ogun State capital. It has been a lot of commendation going to the federal government for this initiative to convert vehicles to CNG that is very eco-friendly. As of now, the government has released a lot of kits for the vehicles to be converted to CNG, and Ogun State government, immediately the federal government and the President Bola Tinubu announced that Nigeria will now go into CNG to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal on the people. 2 months after, in July 2023, Ogun State government is the first governor in Nigeria to start the conversion process by converting about 2,000 buses to run on CNG. And this has been going on in the state. People are already enjoying it at a very reduced price. For instance, in Abuja now, either from the government secretariat or in the town, whenever you are boarding the CNG, you only have to pay 100 naira per the trip. Unlike 300 or 400 naira that people are paying for vehicles on petrol. This is what the people are saying, that when more of these vehicles are being converted, like what the federal government has just done about 2 or 3 weeks ago when they released some kits for vehicles to be converted, particularly transport vehicles. They invited union leader, transport union leader, the NURTW, the RTEAN, asking them to bring their vehicle to this site because one of the centers for the conversion of those buses. They have already told them to bring their vehicle to this place to be converted for them free of charge. And people in Ogun State are actually looking up to the time that these vehicles will be converted and they start reaping the results as intended by the president. For example, I've boarded about 2 of such vehicles that have already been converted by private owners. They have not reduced the price. They are still taking what others, their colleagues that are running on petrol are taking. And I asked one of them, what is happening? You are running on CNG. CNG is very cheap, and we all know it's very cheap. But now you are collecting money that other people who are running on petrol they are collecting. They said they have a lot of money, they spend a lot of money converting it privately and things like that. But one thing they said that is actually interests me is the fact that when we have more of such buses, particularly the to CNG, it is definitely going to bring down the price on the people. And this is what the people are looking up to. They said, yes, they are feeling the pains of the fuel subsidy removal, paying extra money, high money to transport themselves to their place of work and other places. But they are actually looking up to that time in Ogun State when we have more of the buses, whether buses and even the small ones that park.
All right. Okay, Yemi, you've captured so much
even
for
the small
us.
ones that run within the town, this is what they want. This is the way to go. As long as these vehicles are converted en masse, people will actually enjoy the service as intended by the president.
All right, thank you so much, Yemi, and we want to hope that in no distant time, the benefits will definitely be felt by the people. Thank you, Yemi, for that insight. All right, and well, the federal government just recently handed over 64 to 100 different other capacity of compressed natural gas buses to organized labor and student unions. Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, accompanied by other ministers at the handover, says the deployment of the CNG buses is in line with President Tinubu's promise to retool Nigeria's economy into a sustainable path of progress. Let's hear more from Deborah Balagbobo.
Promised and delivered. That symbolizes the handover of CNG buses to representatives of Labour and Students' Union. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, reiterates government's commitment to ensure the availability of CNG buses to not only Nigerian workers but to other members of the public. Beyond implementing the policy on transition from fossil fuel to cleaner energy, bringing down cost of transportation and enhancing energy competitiveness are other benefits the minister cited.
Over $175 million of worth of investment has gone into this sector already. We expect to see more of that. Nigerians expect to go in. More and more Nigerians, technicians especially, are being trained. So it's a whole gamut of arrangement that will benefit all spheres of, all sectors of this country. All Nigerians will be felt. This is beginning from those who need the most, the working class. The working class are going to get this. But beyond that, other Nigerians are also going to be the market people. Everyone, artisans, everybody will now feel this impact.
The promise he made is to intervene on the side of the poor and the most vulnerable in the aftermath of what we all knew were necessary macroeconomic reforms to set the country on the path of economic stability that would allow investment.
Mr. President is leading us to do what is sensible. What you are blessed with, what is cheaper, use it. Any mechanical device, motor, generator, irrigation facility that uses petrol can run on CNG. So this is a sensible transition that is led by Mr. President. We have talked about it for a decade, but Mr. President is saying, let's do it.
Representatives of the union expressed satisfaction over various endeavors by government to cushion the plight of Nigerians occasioned by global economic challenges.
This step forward brings us closer to a future where both workers and the planet benefit from such forward-thinking policies, which is commendable.
As a representative of over 40 million Nigerian students, today we're happy that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have kept to his promise.
I want to believe that it's just the takeoff, that clearly we will get more buses.
This is the first in series of such initiatives lined up by government towards the implementation of the policy. In Abuja, Deborah Balagbobo, NTA News.
From the judiciary, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has restrained INEC from releasing voters' register to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission for the purpose of conducting the October 5, 2024 local government elections in the state. The presiding judge, Justice Peter Lifu, gave the order while delivering judgment in a suit before it by APC. The court also barred the Inspector General of Police and Department of the State Service from providing security during the proposed local government election. The suit was argued on behalf of the APC by its legal team led by Joseph Dauda, SAN. Justice Lifu held that the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission was wrong in fixing October 5 date for the conduct of the poll into the 23 local governments when all relevant laws guiding the election had not been complied with. The court also held that the failure of Rivers electoral body violated provision of local government's election conduct law by not publishing the mandatory 90 days notice before fixing the date. Justice Peter Lifu also held that the update and revision of voter register ought to have been concluded before an election date be legally and validity fixed in law. In the light of this, the court ordered INEC not to make the certified voter register available to the state electoral body until the law has been fully complied with. Justice Peter Lifu also barred the State INEC Electoral Commission from accepting any voter register from INEC or using it for the purpose of the October 5 local government poll. All right, let's head to Lagos and find out the latest news from that end as we join Adeola. It's the latest news from that end as
has been happening in Lagos. Lagos State will give you the necessary support and access to its developmental template and ideas that will help you succeed in the quest to transform Edo State. These were the words of Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to the Edo State Governor-elect Senator Monday Okpebholo, who was on a thank-you visit to the state. Joyken Abakoya reports.
Lagos is the first port of call for the Edo State Governor-elect Senator Monday Okpebholo after his victory at the polls and subsequent visit to President Bola Tinubu. Though an appreciation visit, the governor-elect says it is an opportunity to seek support and gather ideas on ways to improve the livelihoods of the Edo people as he prepares to take over the reins of leadership. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the APC victory is a win for Edo people. He expressed confidence in the ability of Senator Monday Okpebholo to provide the leadership that will transform Edo State and make life more meaningful for its people. Edo Governor-elect was accompanied on the visit by the Deputy Governor-elect and leaders of the APC in Edo State. In Lagos, Joyken Abakoya, NTA News.
From being a vital trade post for the export of farm produce to becoming a maritime hub, driving the security architecture of the entire Gulf of Guinea, Nigeria no doubt has evolved within the global sphere of the marine and blue economy. And as the country attains 64 years of independence, harnessing the gains inherent in the industry while securing its exclusive economic zone are the focus for a prosperous future. Michael Olaleye reports.
Whether by fortune or nature, Nigeria is strategically positioned within the West Africa coastline, and this has played a crucial role in shaping its maritime activities even before independence. Although primarily based on export of agricultural commodities, today the gains are quantifiable, not only from the increase in the number of ports and infrastructural upgrade, but in terms of revenue, in which the less than 2-year-old ministries posted a revenue growth of 242 billion naira in the first quarter of 2024.
To boost investment, the Nigerian government has introduced a wide range of incentives, including tax reliefs, trade zone benefits, infrastructure development, and financial support.
while efforts to strengthen partnership in opening up areas like seabed mining, marine recreation, fishery, coastal tourism, and offshore wind power is ongoing. Nigeria already has a direction in the area of shipbuilding and cargo management.
The essence of having these dry ports is to bring shipping services closer to the shippers in the hinterlands.
Crucial to evaluating Nigeria's growth in the maritime industry is the extension of the country's exclusive economic zone from 200 nautical miles to 220, and as a way of showing commitment to keeping the space secured, a strong partnership with the Nigerian Navy is being forged.
The safety of the marine environment is key to the development of the GDP of Nigeria.
Achieving this milestone at the dawn of the country's 64th independence is significant, and experts say it will enable Nigeria to fish for more wealth from the expanse of its vast maritime reserves.
As we take from the ocean, we need to replace and build it, sustain it, and nurture it for more profitable exploitation of the oceans.
The future is truly assured, and it is a matter of time that all these efforts will translate into improved economic activities and job opportunities, thereby putting the country at the apex of maritime industry globally. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos for now. Nationwide will continue after this time out. To stay with us.
Glad to know you're there. Another set of 50 students of Government Secondary School, Tudunwada, have benefited from the empowerment initiative of the federal government with the provision of iPad to promote effective learning in information technology. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Vocational, Technical and Entrepreneurship Education, Abiola Arungundadi, championed the initiative in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. Ngozi Technical reports.
The excitement of the 50 selected students knew no bound as the gesture was least expected.
Very excited. My prayer is for God to bless her. It will make me perform more and better in my next exam.
I pray for God to give her more riches and more money to help other students.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President explained that the iPad is to enable the students fit into the modern use of ICT in learning, especially as it concerns artificial intelligence and robotics. The empowerment initiative, according to the Senior Special Assistant, is in collaboration with Afrione, an indigenous company.
This is one of the pillars of the administration's renewed hope agenda. Today's donation, therefore, is to empower students to develop their technical and vocational skills in line with the President's mandate.
By combining the government's reach and resources with Afrione's technological expertise and training capabilities, we will be creating a powerful synergy that will draw real change in our society.
The school principal, while appreciating the SSA to the President for the honor, stated that 40 of the students were selected from JSS 1 and 2, while 10 were from JSS 3. Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
All right, our next stop will be Sokoto to find out latest news, and Sadia is set to guide us. Sadia?
The Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ahmed Abubakar Audi, has directed the immediate dismissal and diligent prosecution of an officer of the Corps who was recently arrested by the police for allegedly supplying weapons and hard drugs to terrorists in Zamfara State. The NSCDC Commandant Zamfara State Command Sani Mustafa, who stated this at a press conference in Gusau, reiterated the Corps' zero tolerance for misconduct. Jamil Ibrahim has more.
Zamfara State Police Command has recently paraded a personnel of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps ASC-2 Mai Kano Sarkin Tasha for allegedly supplying weapons and hard drugs to terrorists operating in the state. Apparently disturbed by the sad event, Zamfara State NSCDC Command convened an emergency press conference to formally announce the stand of the Corps on the matter.
I wish to state that the Commandant General of the Corps, Dr. Ahmad Abubakar Audi, who received the news with disdain, has condemned the alleged barbaric behavior of the officer and direct that I take necessary administrative action, including immediate dismissal of the individual if his name is found on our Corps nominal roll.
The NSCDC Commandant Zamfara State Command confirmed that the arrested officer was earlier reported for absenteeism and had since not been seen until the news of his arrest by the police.
The spirit of interagency relationship, synergy, and I will interface with my friend and colleague, the Commissioner of Police of Zamfara State, for further necessary action to be taken to transfer the officer to the Corps National Headquarters Abuja for internal disciplinary action and prosecution.
The NSCDC Zamfara State Command reiterated commitment to continue to work with other sister security agencies in the fight against crimes, even as the Commandant promised that the Corps will pursue the case with utmost transparency. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Media organizations have been asked to prioritize national security before any other interests for peace, stability and development of the country. The call was made by the Emir of Gwandu, Muhammad Ilyasu Bashar, when he received chief executives of broadcast media organizations in Kebbi State. Hassana Abubakar Koko reports.
The royal father was responding to the remark by the leader of the Kebbi Media Executives Forum, Malam Muhammad Ibrahim Kamba, who says they were at the palace to introduce the forum and seek for the emir's blessings. He says media organizations in Kebbi State are ready to partner with the state government in developing the state and create public awareness on national and state policies. Responding, the Emir of Gwandu says he is happy with the visit and stressed the importance of the media towards enlightening the public on national policies. He assured the media executives of his support towards carrying out its activities in Kebbi State.
Our managers together as a unit to work for the betterment of our country and the betterment of our society. It's a very good initiative. It's a very respectful decision for making this country united.
The Kebbi Media Executives Forum is constituted by all television and radio general managers in Kebbi State. From Birnin Kebbi, Hassan Abubakar Koko, NTA News.
And those are the news updates from Sokoto. It's now back to you, Ruth.
Thank you very much, Sadia. Lack of access to information creates a disconnect between the government and the citizens. To bridge this gap, the United Nations declared September 30th every year as International Day for Universal Access to Information. In Nigeria, stakeholders are seeking to bridge the gap through responsive public communication.
Forming a culture, a norm, that government information and records are not prevented from the citizen of this country. That the citizens of this country have the right to know what their governments are doing.
The present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu firmly believes that government business should not be shrouded in secrecy, but conducted with transparency.
Access to information is very crucial if we must have equitable, very, very efficient society.
Those in government must know that there are instances where information is instantly needed, and they have to learn what we call crisis communication.
The 2024 theme is mainstreaming access to information and participation in the public sector. The federal government says sustainable mining must be practiced in Nigeria in line with global environmental goals. In achieving this objective, the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development is collaborating with mining operators in the country to enhance critical environmental practices. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Mary Ogbe, stated this during a sensitization program for mineral title holders and mining host communities in Kefi, Nasarawa State. Represented by the Director, Mines Environmental Compliance Department of the Ministry, Vivian Okono, the Permanent Secretary reminds stakeholders on environmental obligations, stressing it is not just a regulatory requirement, but strict adherence to best environmental practices. All right, let's get to Maiduguri. Abubakar is standing by to give us our next set of reports.
Ruth, it's always good to see you, actually. More victims of flood disaster received support as Relief Disbursement Committee continues to reach out to affected communities in Maiduguri and Jere local government. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum was at Mohammed Wakil Memorial School, Maiduguri, venue of the distribution, to personally supervise the exercise. Here is Mohammed Goni with the rest of the story.
The exercise followed capturing of flood victims at Limanti Ward of Maiduguri Metropolitan Council by the Flood Relief Disbursement Committee to ascertain the number of people to benefit in the distribution of the relief items. Over 5,000 male and female heads of households verified by the committee each received a 25 kg bag of rice, blanket, mat, mosquito net, and carton of spaghetti, a development the beneficiaries are happy with.
We are grateful for the gesture.
We are very grateful to the governor for this assistance.
Governor Zulum commended the committee for the transparent work and urged the flood victims to remain patient, assuring them that each affected head of household will receive the relief items.
We must ensure that only heads of household will benefit from this scheme. Under no circumstances, a wife and a husband will benefit, or a child and a father will benefit if the child is not married. This is something that we need to do.
To facilitate easy identification, the distribution exercise was temporarily put on hold as tokens will be disbursed to beneficiaries in their homes for a seamless distribution exercise going forward. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
And still on issues that have to do with flood, the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, has partnered with the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE, to assess and reconstruct roads and bridges damaged by floods in the region. This was brought to the fore during the meeting held between the two bodies in Maiduguri. Pauline Kujevana completes the story.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, Mohammed Al-Kali, interfaced with the Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSCE Chairman, Borno State Chapter, Mohammed Shatima, to devise a holistic plan of action for the rehabilitation of damaged infrastructures.
Without preempting whatever they're going to bring, I'm sure they're going to do a good job, which will assist us in doing the practical job. So whatever bridges are collapsed in the Northeast, we are going to look at it and see what needs to be done as quickly as possible.
Mohammed Shatima expressed his commitment and pledged the NSC's full support in tackling the challenges posed by the floods, underscoring the importance of collaboration between government agencies and professional organizations in addressing infrastructure challenges.
Well, it is now left for the Commission to give us, in their terms of reference, the number of bridges they want us to visit and to ascertain.
There is no doubt initiatives like this is vital for revitalizing Borno State and fostering community development and economic growth. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. Ruth in Abuja will be back with more stories for us right after this break.
Thank you for staying with us. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has donated relief materials worth millions of naira to victims of communal clashes in some communities of Toto, local government area of Nasarawa State. While receiving the items, beneficiaries were full of appreciation to the federal government for the gesture. Bilkisu Guruku reports.
led last year when the inhabitants of Katakasheke communities and environs in Omasha development area of Toto local government area of Nasarawa state were at the verge of finalizing their end-of-year harvest. Communal clash engulfed the area, which resulted in the loss of lives and property, especially farm produce worth millions of naira, as well as thousands displaced from their ancestral homes. It was in a bid to bring succor to the victims that the National Emergency Management Agency rolled out these palliatives of food items such as maize, rice and other condiments, as well as mattresses, blankets and mosquito nets to ease their living condition.
I'm calling on my people, we should feel shut away from it. The government of the Federation are always doing everything possible to ensure that people live in peace and harmony.
It is with peace that we are going to see developments. Wherever there is no peace, there is no development.
At the distribution ceremony in Omasha, the event was a uniting scenario as the affected victims were seen having mutual discussion on the sharing formula of the relief materials in company of security agents in the area. Some of the beneficiaries expressed satisfaction with the relief materials, noting that the current economic situation is biting hard on an average Nigerian.
I'm very happy with the federal government that helped us with this crisis happened to us.
We thanks for federal government that push all this to all.
He expressed appreciation to the Vice President, Neymar, and other relevant stakeholders for coming to the aid of his people. Bilkisu Umar Gurku, NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency is sensitizing the public, especially those in flood-prone areas, on precautionary measures to be taken against the impending flood alert, warning by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency. Now, this is against the backdrop of the release of waters from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. The advocacy was during a media and stakeholders' engagement in Lafia. Here is Bilkisu Umar Gurku again.
It could be recalled that the Cameroonian authorities informed Nigeria through the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency that the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon is overflowing and could cause significant flooding and environmental damage in the country. It is against that backdrop that the National Orientation Agency is creating awareness, alerting people, especially states on the front line, which include Nasarawa, on measures to be taken to avoid loss of lives and property.
The Lagdo Dam in Cameroon is increasing on a daily basis. So there is the need for us to go around and sensitize our people.
In her address, State Director of the agency, Priscilla Gondwalo, disclosed that in the year 2022, 145,000 people were displaced from 95 communities in 11 local government areas of the state. For that reason, the agency will continue to sensitize the citizens of the state with the urgency it requires to avoid such reoccurrence. Areas prone to flood in Nasarawa state include Tunga, Rukubi, Loko, Udenigida, Umasha, among others. The theme is Flood Safety Alert. In Lafia, Bilkisu Umar Gurku, NTA News.
The Beyond Disability project is set to transform Nigeria, creating over 36,000 job opportunities for persons with disabilities and fostering an inclusive society where everyone thrives. Gufansha Jungwai reports that the initiative will bring economic empowerment, social integration, and equal access to opportunities.
Project is all about movement, it's all about skills development, create talent among persons with disability. And we are going to create 36,551 job opportunity across the state. So you have a very strong mandate to deliver. And we are optimistic, we have confidence in you that you are going to deliver.
The newly appointed state coordinators will spearhead this transformation and oversee talent development initiatives, connect persons with disabilities with opportunities, and also ensure project initiatives are executed with precision.
That we are 100% behind you.
The Beyond Disability project is not just a state project. It's actually a national project and as well as international project.
I was so happy that there will be a lot of talent, a lot of skill acquisitions that will elevate these persons with disability from the state so that they will have a sense of belonging.
Through collaboration, transparency and accountability, the Beyond Disability project paves the way for a brighter future, ensuring no one is left behind. And talking about not leaving anyone behind, across Nigeria, a vibrant community of over 3 million deaf individuals strive for equal access and opportunity. For them, sign language is more than just a means of communication. It is a lifeline to education, employment and social inclusion. Gufan Shajungwai sheds light on this community's quest for awareness and recognition.
Sign language has a rich history, tracing back to ancient civilizations. With over 300 distinct sign languages worldwide, Nigerian Sign Language emerged in the 1960s, blending local gestures and American Sign Language elements. Nigerian Sign Language is integral to deaf identity, self-expression, and cultural heritage. However, Nigerians' deaf community faces daunting challenges: limited access to education, healthcare, and employment restricts their participation. Scarcity of trained interpreters and inadequate resources worsens isolation and marginalization.
When I go to the hospital as a mother who is pregnant and wants to deliver, I need to communicate with the doctor. How will I do that? It's a challenge for me. I will need an interpreter, and hospitals doesn't really have interpreters. Many televisions that are talking about news and happenings in the society, you don't have captions. And that excludes the deaf people from the society. And it is important for us to be able to really recognize the deaf people in society and bring everyone along. Our hope is on access to jobs, access to health. Sign language interpreters, we are also demanding that the government should recognize sign language interpreters as professionals, because the work is a professional work and it demands a lot of responsibility on sign language interpreters, like interpreters in the court, for example. If you are not well trained or certified and you go to the court system and the deaf person is jailed because of wrong interpretation, you can see how that can have effects.
And by recognizing Nigerian Sign Language as a valuable asset, it will unlock deaf citizens' potential, foster inclusivity, diversity, and social cohesion. In Abuja, Kufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
We must commend sign language interpreters. They're doing a whole lot. I can't even do thank you in that. All right, we told you at the start of the bulletin that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administered oath of office to the Chief Justice of Nigeria. We have that report ready. State House correspondent Musbahuddin Wahab has details.
The Independence Anniversary celebration came so early for the judiciary, and so too for the female folk, as Justice Kudirat Kekereekun becomes the substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. After Mariam Aloma Mukhtar, Kekereekun is the second woman to assume this lead position for the judiciary and to set new pace in the administration of justice in Nigeria. She has been acting in this capacity since August 23, before her confirmation by the National Assembly just a month later. Starting a legal career in Lagos as a private lawyer in 1985, the jurist became a judge of the High Courts of same state in 1996, elevated to the Court of Appeal in 2004, and to the Supreme Court of Nigeria as the 5th female justice of the court in 2013.
Your rise to this extolled position.
President Bola Tinubu, who has apparently been keeping track of this progress, acknowledged the steadfastness and courage of the new CJN, which he believes is an encouragement to every Nigerian girl child.
I want to urge the new Chief Justice of Nigeria to continue to uphold our reputation of being an ethical, fearless, and honest jurist. The Nigerian judiciary needs a leader with these qualities at this time, and I have no doubt that he will set the pace for others to follow.
The president recognizes the strategic role of the judiciary as a pillar in the tripod of Nigeria's constitutional democracy and promises that his government will continue to respect the independence of this important arm of government while supporting it for better performance.
While we may have reasons to interface as complementing component of the same government, the government under my watch will also be mindful of the clear line demarcating the two of us. We will never interfere or abuse the relationship that exists between us as separate organs of government in our democracy. It is my administration's full commitment to preserve the sanctity of the judiciary.
Justice Kekereekun now wears full regalia amidst much expectation on improvements in the administration of justice.
We want that to also bring improvement in terms of prison decongestion, and then awaiting trials, which should speed up the wheel of justice. And too many people are awaiting justice, particularly in land matters. And then you see people being sent to prison for 7-8 years and at the end being sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. What happens to the additional 5 years they spent?
If she wants to be firm, she'll have no problem. But if she decides to be going here, there, then that is where the problem will start.
The National Judicial Council, NJC, recommended the 66-year-old Justice Kudirat Kekereekun as a successor for former Justice Olukayode Ariwola, who retired on August 22, 2024. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
And that's the news. Thank you for your time. I'm Ruth Aguwele. Do have a beautiful evening.